So, first, I guess I'd like to start by saying this is the first of three podcasts that we will discuss about the background of World War II. And we're really going to discuss in what's going on in other countries. So at this point, I'm not relating it to any standards. I guess if anything, you'd be relating it to the ideas and key events in American history, but really they're about ideas from other countries. Anyway, this first one is about communism. So, a little bit of information about communism and what's going on in other countries. Marxism is an economic, social, political ideology for how to change and improve a society. A basic belief behind this movement is that under capitalism, there is and always will be a struggle between the classes, between the rich and the poor, the workers and the business owners. The idea is that workers will revolt against the systems that oppress them, including the government. Once the workers gain control, they would implement reforms to benefit themselves. This would include taking away privately owned property and business. The state government would then run and control property and business for the benefit of the people. This system is socialism. Marxists believed that eventually a socialist society would develop into an entirely classless system, which is known as communism. This notion of revolting against ownership and government is the reason that the union-led strikes were equated with communism during the 1920s. Now, before World War I, Marxism had no appeal for most Asians. Most Asian societies were agricultural and did not seem ready for a revolution, particularly an industrial revolution. After the revolution in Russia, again, there was a revolution in Russia during World War I. After the revolution in Russia, the situation began to change. The Russian Revolution showed that a Marxist revolution could work even in a country that was not fully industrialized. In 1919, the Communist International, or Comintern, was formed. This was a worldwide organization of communist parties that worked for world revolution. At its headquarters in Moscow, agents were trained and returned to their own countries to form Marxist parties and promote revolution. So, in the 1920s, when there was this Red Scare in America and there were all these strikes and people feared communism, there really was a worldwide organization trying to establish communism throughout the world. Anyway, by the end of the 1920s, nearly every colonial society in Asia had a communist party. In some countries, the communists were able to work with nationalists to fight Western imperialism. Remember, the West, European countries, had colonies throughout Asia at this time. This was true in French Indochina, which is Vietnam, where Ho Chi Minh, who had been trained in Moscow, organized Vietnamese communists, and we'll talk about him more later. Again, this is all going to relate to events throughout the rest of this century we're talking about. A strong communist national alliance was also formed in China. In most colonial societies, however, communist parties had little success in the 1930s. Again, a key here is we're establishing a foundation for some tensions prior to, leading up, during, and after World War II. Hold on, there's another one coming.